Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Thursday, November 8th, 2007, and this is episode 4 of our weekly Campaign 2008 Roundup. You know, Republican presidential candidate Rudy Giuliani has built his whole campaign around 9/11. So much so, in fact, that when anybody questions his view of what happened on 9/11, he almost takes it as a personal affront. A few months back, Ron Paul, who's also running for the Republican nomination, suggested that American foreign policy in the Middle East might have had something to do with why 9/11 happened. Here's how Rudy responded.
That's really an extraordinary statement. It's an extraordinary statement of someone who lived through the attack of September 11, that we invited the attack because we were attacking Iraq. I don't think I've ever heard that before, and I've heard some pretty absurd explanations for September 11. And I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
Now, just yesterday, Rudy got the endorsement of TV preacher Pat Robertson. Now, Robertson, of course, is anti-abortion rights, anti-gay rights, pretty much the opposite of Rudy, so the endorsement seems pretty odd. But what's really funny is that Robertson actually says that one of the main reasons that 9/11 happened is because America has embraced a sinful culture and God has withdrawn his protection and allowed the 9/11 attacks to happen. Now, check out this exchange between Robertson and Jerry Falwell just a few days after the 9/11 attacks. Take a look.
What we saw on Tuesday, as terrible as it is, could be minuscule if in fact God continues to lift the curtain and allow the enemies of America to give us probably what we deserve.
Well, Jerry, that's my feeling. I think we've just seen the antechamber to terror. We haven't even begun to see what they can do to the major population. I mean,
the ACLU's got to take a lot of blame for this.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I'll hear from them for this, but throwing God, or successfully with the help of the federal court system, throwing God out of the public square, out of the schools. The abortionists have got to bear some burden for this, because God will not be mocked, and when we destroy 40 million little innocent babies, we make God mad. I really believe that the pagans and the abortionists and the feminists and the gays and the lesbians who are actively trying to make that an alternative lifestyle, the ACLU, People for the American Way, all of them who tried to secularize America, I point the finger in their face and say, you helped this happen.
Well, I totally concur.
Now, those statements generated so much controversy that just a couple days later, Robertson came forward and said that there had been some problem with the sound system and he hadn't heard Falwell quite right, and he definitely didn't agree with what Falwell had said, blaming the ACLU and various other liberal groups for causing 9/11. But look what Robertson himself said. This is from a press release on his website. These are his statements, ones he's never withdrawn, and as near as we can tell, still agrees with. Here's some of the causes, he says, of 9/11. Rampant pornography, rampant secularism, 35 to 40 million unborn babies slaughtered by our society, no Bible or prayer in the public schools. This is what Robertson says. Robertson says that because America has done these things, God withdrew his protection for America and allowed 9/11 to happen. Now, reporters caught up with Rudy a few hours after the endorsement down in South Carolina and asked him about Robertson's statement about God punishing America with 9/11. Now, what Rudy said was Robertson long ago explained what he meant and basically implied that he no longer agrees with those comments, apologized for what he said, etc. But as far as we can tell, that's not true. So what we're trying to find out is, what does Robertson think now about what caused 9/11 and whether America's sinful acts like allowing abortion, allowing gays to exist in society helped cause 9/11? And does Rudy agree with that too, especially since 9/11 is all there is to Rudy's candidacy? I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you next week.